breaking fast.
Whatever they call it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching The Inside Scoop. I'm your host, Steve Scanlon. Sitting next to me is my co-host, Bubba. Welcome, Bubba.
Hi, Steve. I'm back on the big stage with you.
And joining us is Joe.
Hello.
Welcome, Joe.
Hello.
She mentioned Emily's incognito. She's
At their La Salette Carnival.
she's not with us.
Enjoying the rides. Matter of fact, I brought her there Monday, and she's back there on Wednesday. She must
Sure you
love-
didn't leave it there?
We're doing an extra day this year?
Yeah.
Usually they end it after Monday.
Are you sure you didn't leave it there since Monday?
Could've. I got distracted with the food. They had excellent French fries
Well, she's there with the family today.
and chicken and rice. I prefer you get the chicken and rice when you go to La Salette Fair. You shaking your head? No, you didn't like it, Joe? You don't like chicken and rice?
I'm fine.
Okay, well, we're in the first week of June already, and Memorial Day came and gone, and so there wasn't many parades around. There were a few parades around, but Attleboro did not have their parade, and so I ended up spending the afternoon over at La Salette Fairgrounds to bring my nieces. And I also did a walk, get some exercise in. Then I watched YouTube the rest of the day. So I didn't do much this past Memorial
Where'd you
Day.
walk to, a restaurant?
No, I ate at home, so I ended up getting the walk before I ended up eating. Anyways, June, halfway through the year already. Where has this
Well, first
year
thing we
gone?
should mention, Steve, is that we're all kind of back together again. I mean, it's because of the COVID.
It's weird.
Feeling getting better and some of the restrictions being lifted and the policies, the 6-foot policy kind of being lifted a little bit throughout the state by the governor and the COVID situation being under wraps because of the vaccination process
It
and
was
people
weird.
staying healthy.
No, I think I'm going to use the word weird. I could use other words as well, but to be able to go to the stores and not have to wear masks.
I'm still wearing my mask because that's what says
I
on
am
the
too.
door. It's taken down.
To be on the safe side, I chose to, and I still choose to wear my mask on the outside.
We all thankful for that.
And so, going to Walmart on, was it Monday night, one of my nieces, Natalie, she mentioned that it was strange. Yeah, she used the word strange to see people not wearing a mask at the store. And I told her, get ready, this is going to be the new norm. Now, I'm grateful that the virus, I think, is almost gone.
Pretty much. But there's still cases out there coming up over 100 days.
And so I'm grateful for that. And like I was saying a few minutes ago, I'm still going to wear my mask. I wore my mask to Walmart, and I will still wear my mask to the stores, even though some stores is optional. And how actually optional, I think, if you're fully vaccinated.
Which I am.
I'm halfway there. I got my first shot this past Sunday. My arm was sore for a day. I got a little headache. That's the only side effects I had. And actually, I was hungry. No, wait, that's my normal show. Now, did you guys have any side effects from your
After my
vaccination?
first one, my arm was sore a little bit. After the second one, my arm is very sore for about 2 days.
Okay.
Same here.
And it's better now. I mean, I had my vaccination about a week ago. It's, I strongly encourage people to still do what we've been doing, diligent, washing your hands as much as possible. Wear your mask, and if they say you don't have to, I still wear my masks. I'm still wearing it for the time being until this whole thing stops. The governor's actually put a reprise on the whole mandate mask law. It's been repealed. You can, all your sports stadiums now are full bore. They're starting to announce on the internet dates for independent wrestling shows, which will be starting over again soon, which I'm excited for. Like I said, you can go to the ball
And-
game now. You can go to Fenway Park. You can go to the football games. You can go to basketball games, hockey games, and
WWE
Full-
announced
yeah.
recently that
they're going back on tour. They're
Starting
going
next month.
Is it July, Joe?
Yep.
Okay.
Late July.
I'm excited about that. So it's this dreaded pandemic we're in, which we're getting towards the end of it. It's not done yet. I think there's going to be another small strain of it because of this. People are not used to this.
Also,
I don't
too,
think it's going to
they've
get crazy, but I think there may be a small strain.
been other countries like South Africa,
Vietnam.
India, and others, they still have a big outbreak. And so, it's,
Have you thought about traveling? No, I shouldn't say that.
out of the country, no.
You can get right over your head.
I'm
I shouldn't
confused.
say that, Steve. We wouldn't. You've been confused, Steve, as long as I've known you. But we love you.
All right, let's get to the wrestling stuff. You have anything new, Joe, you like to mention about the wrestling?
Well, a couple of things.
Okay.
2 matches for the upcoming pay-per-view in a couple of weeks, and also got WWE releases.
No, the pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell.
Yep. It would be on Father's Day, the 20th. The WWE title, Lashley against Drew McIntyre.
I want Drew McIntyre to win.
If it's Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre wins. If it's
so.
not Hell in a Cell, Lashley's going to win because MVP is going to get involved.
No, ain't all the matches Hell in
No.
a Cell match?
No.
they're
Usually
not.
there's only
Okay.
2.
And the other one is the Raw Women's title, Rhea Ripley against Charlotte.
That could be interesting. I personally think Rhea's going to win that match. I think they're really giving Rhea a push right now. I know Asuka's going to be taking a little bit of time off, deservingly for Asuka. She's been working pretty hard for a couple of years now, straight, really, without some time off. And I think they can keep the Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley feud going for a while.
I was impressed. I've been watching Rhea Ripley's matches recently on Raw, and I've been impressed with her. Charlotte Flair, I forgot how many times champion she's been.
13.
And so I like to see Rhea Ripley win, because seeing somebody win the title a 14th time, that's a lot of times that person been champion. And I think Rhea Ripley is doing a great job as champion. I like to see her stay champion for a while, so I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley for that one. Who you picked to win, Joe?
Ripley.
I'm going with Rhea too, because they can keep that feud going.
No, I did not know. Talking about champion, I'm going to throw a curveball now. John Cena, I think, is the 16-time champion.
Yes, he is.
He tied the record.
And 16 times is the record?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I
well, the
never
one that
knew
we
that.
recognize. A lot of people don't recognize Jerry Lawler was 23-time world champion, but he'd win the title every other week. Seems like a Global Wrestling years ago. It's not really recognized. They say it was Ric Flair and John Cena, the 16-time world champions of the NWA/WWE, WWF.
Flair also was WCW too.
But
No, John Cena is in the movie coming out, Fast and Furious.
9.
Is it number 9?
Yep.
Wow. Soon there'll be a 10th one, and 11th, and a 12th.
Actually, I think I've seen someone. I think the 10 is supposed to be the last one. I think.
Oh, is it?
I think.
Is The Rock in the 9th one?
No.
No, he's not in this one.
No.
Okay.
I know you shocked me with another list you have there, Joe, that I didn't see on the internet today, but then again, I haven't done the internet as much.
Well, I saw it on Google News on my phone today.
Oh, about the
Going to that
layout?
list, yes. I'm
WWE
shocked with
releases.
these names, a lot of these names.
I seen some of the names on YouTube today about the layouts.
Braun Strowman.
I can't believe
That's
they
a
let
big
Braun.
surprise.
I can't believe they let Braun Strowman go. The guy's he's a monster. He's a great worker. He's been getting a lot of popularity. He's been fighting for a title the last couple of pay-per-views, and all of a sudden, bang, he's laid off.
Rusev's wife, Lana.
I kind of saw that happening. She really wasn't doing much. She didn't ask for it, but she's still on the contract for a year and a half, but they let her off and let her go.
Zelina Vega's husband, Aleister Black.
Totally shocked at Aleister Black. I know Aleister Black was very upset that Zelina Vega got let go, and he just came back with a big push on SmackDown. All of a sudden, bang, he's gone. That doesn't make sense.
In fact, his wife just got re-signed, from what I found out.
That doesn't make sense with Aleister Black at all. Good worker. We've really been pushing crazy on SmackDown.
The leader of the Riot Squad, Ruby Riot.
Good worker, great wrestler. I mean, really good worker. Very kind of a unsung girl. She goes out and gives 110% every match. I wish her well in her future endeavors, as WWE would say, because I think she's a good athlete.
Liam Mysterio's on-screen boyfriend, Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy was an NXT worker, good wrestler who came up and had like a little to do with Seth Rollins. I think that kind of hurt his character a little bit, working with him. He's a good wrestler that, again, had some great matches with Aleister Black.
Speaking of NXT, NXT's Santana Garrett, they released too.
I read somewhere too that they let the Velveteen Dream go.
Oh yeah, I did see something about that. Yeah.
It's craziness. I mean, I saw a match last night on NXT that was kind of shocking. Kushida against Carmella Hayes. Now, you people would know who Carmella Hayes is, but us folks here on the Boston Independent scene know Christian Casanova. That two wrestled last night. He put a great match on with Kushida.
I know I should have watched it.
Christian Casanova had to put a great match last night with Kushida, and Kushida showed him a lot of respect near the match, shook his hand and hugged him and gave him his ups. A local athlete who I've been watching building his career last, I think, 3 or 4 years. I've known Christian. Good to see, again, a local kid making it. I'm wearing the shirt, Donovan Dijak. You all know him as 8-Ball from Retribution. Him and, he's not 8-Ball, he's T-Bar, right? Joe from Retribution? Donovan Dijak?
I think so.
Yeah. He was just recently unmasked. He was something Digestsky in NXT, and they brought him up with Retribution. Made him into T-Bar. He's another local athlete. Like I said, I'm so glad to see local athletes back. I know Ibar, who I mentioned here before, who I've known his real name for years. I've known him for years. He's come back from his injury, from his neck injury. I'm surprised he's back, but he is. He's back wrestling with him and Raw are the Viking Warriors. And a lot of local, independent influx. Go to these local shows. You're seeing these people for $10, $15 a show who are now on WWE and wrestling for us.
Now, I believe it's Ibar. I've seen him wrestle, was either once or twice, right here in Attleboro at the Moose Lodge.
Yes, I think he wrestled here as handsome Johnny Hayes, but I believe it or not.
But Christian
Hansen. Yeah, Christian Casanova. We've seen him wrestle LPW.
And he also wrestled back when Power League Wrestling was around, well, mainly in Plainville area. There was a few years in a row he wrestled at, I think it was the Plainville, is it the Common or the school?
I don't remember. I don't remember seeing the shows in Plainville.
There was a kind of like a kids' day type of show where there was a festival for the kids, and Power League Wrestling put on a show, and he wrestled there for like 3 or 4 years in a row. In North Attleboro Kids' Day 2 years ago, the last time they had it, I believe he wrestled at that show as well in North Attleboro High
I think
School.
so too, yes.
So it's good to see, like you said, Bubba, I don't want to be repeating you, but it's good to see these local athletes make it big.
I bet Kids Day is returning this year.
That's great news.
Let's hope.
Because I saw it on Facebook, that's how I know.
Now, I talked to Joe during the week, and I asked him...
Joe talk back?
I asked him a question, which I figure I'll bring up. I want to get your opinion on this, Bubba. It has to do with the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, I think there should be another category. Now, my question is, do you agree or disagree with having another category for the jobbers of WWE?
Jobbers, yeah, guys like Pete Doherty and Barry Horowitz, Steve Lombardi, Iron Mike Sharp, guys who could wrestle, but basically were jobbers.
And what made me think of that was I was watching a few matches from 1995 on YouTube, and Matt Hardy, believe it or not, was a jobber back in 1995.
Yeah, when he was a rookie, when he was around. Him and his brother Matt actually took on China in a match, and China beat both of them.
And Mick Foley used to be a jobber when he first started his wrestling career. I think he was known as Michael Foley.
His first character was Cactus Jack. I actually saw the documentary on him on A&E this past week. He started out in CWF, went to WCCW. Well, he basically came in as a jobber. He wasn't really the liked guy. He was he come out as a rule breaker, but the crowd still took to him. They liked him. He was a rule breaker in WCCW, and the crowd actually took to him and started liking him.
There's Barry Horowitz. He was the guy he used to pat himself on the shoulder.
Pat himself on the back.
That's Joey Maggs. I remember Joey Maggs being a jobber. But I mean,
guys like Jose Luis Rivera, I could name Johnny Raz was a great worker. I think Johnny Raz is in the Hall of Fame anyway, isn't he right now? Yeah, Johnny Raz was the greatest wrestler, but he was a really good worker back in the day.
Jobbers should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, not under, they'll probably be offended if they were to be under a jobber category, but to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, you know, without the jobber term, I think they're worth being in the Hall of Fame because they put guys over in the matches and they help build that wrestlers' characters and
we mentioned too before about having referees. There should be referees in the Hall of Fame. We mentioned referees. I mean, somebody asked online, who's the greatest referee ever? I think Dick Worley's right in the top 3. Dick Worley was a great referee. Mike Keogh was a great referee. Dave Hebner, Earl Hebner, all great referees. Denny Davis had his own character as a referee. Nick Patrick was a decent referee. People don't realize Bill Alfonso started as a referee.
Yes.
Teddy Long started out as a referee.
I knew
David
Teddy
Robinson
used to be a
right now is
I
a
haven't
referee.
seen any, I will eventually, but I like to see some matches with Teddy Long as a referee.
Yeah, you guys dig around YouTube. I think if you plug in Teddy Long, you'll come up with, might be able to see some stuff for him where we refereed. We had some referees, Gilberto Roman back in the day could referee. I mean, it's great to see female referees now. We mentioned local, we got Barbara Mahoney from NECW, been a referee for over 10 years. We got Jessica Carr right now on WWE as a referee. We have another referee, couple of them in NXT, females. I mean, there's a lot of good referees out there. I mean,
I'm glad.
They should be considered for the Hall of Fame.
Yes, I'm glad that promoters are starting to use more females now, not only wrestling but refereeing. I remember, okay, let me try to put the right words. I remember asking Chris Blackheart, who's the promoter for a local independent wrestling Showcase Pro Wrestling.
Who has
I don't remember
Gary
when
Gold.
I asked him, but I asked him a couple times on the stage here when I had him on as a guest. When are you gonna have female wrestlers? And so he said that there was some females training with them. So he ended up, sometime after I asked him that question, I asked him a couple times.
Interesting. I have my mask sitting here, and you mentioned a female wrestler.
He ended up having, he signed
who was trained.
few female wrestlers wrestle for Showcase. And it was great to see them wrestle because it's not only got talent, but for those of you who bring your little daughters or nieces to a wrestling show, them looking up to another female doing the wrestling and stuff, I think that's a big influence
Yeah.
for
I know for a fact,
young
Emily's mentioned
girls who go
she
to
wants
the
to go into
wrestling
wrestling. And she told me, because she saw wrestlers out there, Alicia Edwards mentioned a name. I mean, she was Alexis Nevaeh and NECW. She works for TNA now. Alicia Edwards, Eddie Edwards' wife, local wrestler, been wrestling for years. I know for a fact Em's seen her wrestle. She's seen Ariel, who we mentioned with Mike Baker, local girl wrestle. Amanda Fox, who just had a birthday last week. She retired from wrestling because of injuries, but she was a great local wrestler. I miss Amanda Fox wrestling. I mean, she had her differences with people, but I got along great with her. Great worker. Mistress Belmont, Kathy Belmont, a phenomenal local wrestler, who I think should be in WWE. I think it should have been, but she's getting a little bit older now. I mean, with them cutting names like Braun Strowman and Aleister Black, I don't know how Mistress Belmont could even have a chance to get in right now, but she's just kind of should say she's getting older. She's one of the best workers in this area. I mean, you ask any local girl if they say dream match is going to be against maybe Divine, Davian will tell you. They'll tell you. Alicia Edwards will tell you the best matches they probably ever had was against Mistress Kathy Belmont, or the Widow Belmont, she goes by now. Fantastic wrestlers. I've been seeing, I mean, Della Morte retired from wrestling because of a back injury, local wrestler. We have one on NXT right now. Mercedes Martinez used to wrestle around here. She's been wrestling for over 21 years now. A lot of people don't realize this. You know, we have a lot of local talent. Sasha Banks started out, was trained here by Brian Fury. I mean, Emily's come out and said that she wants to get trained by Brian Fury. I know Mike Baker says he'd love to have a crack at training her too, and some of his style.
Now, it's been known that a lot of rookies get trained by different wrestlers, even from wrestlers from different promotions. I mean, that's a good thing. Even though it might be confusing for their trainee to learn one style, then another style of wrestling, but in the long run, I think that will help their trainee get in their training by different wrestlers with different wrestling techniques, different wrestling styles. Maybe someday, Joe, we'll get you to go to an independent show.
We'll take him to Clinton and we'll leave him there.
What, is that where Monica Lewinsky is?
Clinton, Mass. Monica Lewinsky. I think LPW's announced they're having a show, but I'm not sure what the dates of any of this stuff is yet because it's too early. They saw a bunch of matches coming on. RWA's having a match somewhere in Rhode Island in August. I think it's late July or August. I know there's a match coming up again. Is it July 29th?
Yeah, for New Road Wrestling over in Woonsocket.
Which we were at. Should be another great show.
They're supposed to have Gangrel make their appearance, I think.
I met Gangrel at XWA.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quiet guy. To me, anyway, he was quiet. But then again, I didn't see him long, maybe 2 minutes.
I remember, I'm not sure if I ever seen him wrestle at a WWE show, but I don't think I've seen him wrestle in person before, so this will be my first time seeing him.
I had some of his blood. He's supposedly blood. It was just it's red dye water. He's bits of the calls it blood. Some of it landed on me. So with the XWA match I was sitting at the entrance. I was actually put there by Jose Perez. Put me in that seat, and that's why I spoke the same show with Ricky Steamboat was there. I was talking to Ricky Steamboat, quietly in front of everybody. Thank you for being there. He said, "Thank you for being here." And shook my hand. I was honored to shake the hand of a Hall of Famer.
We saw Ricky Steamboat at,
In Campanelli Stadium, too.
yes, over in Brockton.
Very, very nice man.
And I was
extremely.
happy to see him. Well, actually, he refereed, I believe, during that show.
Yes.
And so I remember watching him as a kid wrestle for NWA and for the WWE. I remember the classic feud he had with Randy Macho Man Savage.
Was it WrestleMania 3? They had one of the greatest matches.
Number 3.
One of the greatest matches they think in WWE history was
I
was
agree.
that match.
It was the IC title.
Yep. I personally, I mean, we've talked about it, but we've never really discussed that either. So maybe for a future show. I've seen so many matches. I've seen at least 6,000 matches over the years in person, but on TV, people say, "What's your favorite match ever?" Undertaker against Mankind, when Undertaker threw him off the cage and he went through
Hell
a
in a
table,
Cell.
and then went yes. I think that to this day is the greatest wrestling match I've ever seen in person.
I agree. And when I think of Hell in a Cell, rather either a pay-per-view or Hell in a Cell match itself, what comes to mind is what you just mentioned.
Now you've seen the
Undertaker
match. I've
versus
shown you.
Mankind.
I know I've shown you my my cassette, my CD of it between Ariel and Nikki Rocks in the old Good Times in Somerville when they had a hardcore match. That's one of my top 5 greatest matches I've ever seen in history. And I've seen a lot of matches. Those two girls basically killed each other. Do you remember the match I'm talking about? It was a champion versus champion match from. I know. I gave you the CD.
Oh,
you
yeah,
borrowed it.
I'll have to watch it again. But
Yep. I got it to you a while ago. I think it's over 67 years ago.
yeah. Here's a question for you. I know you probably have to think about it.
We haven't
real
gone
quick.
through our deaths. Let's go through them real quick if you
yeah,
can, Joey.
that's okay. I forgot about the depths.
Super fast because we got a little short time left.
Disney's Little Mermaid voice actor Samuel L. Wright, who was Sebastian the Crab. 80s Annie movie musical actress Lois DeBanzi, who she played Eleanor Roosevelt. She also appeared in an episode of Punky Brewster. Mary Tyler Moore Show and Love Boat star Gavin McLeod
Oh, yes, Captain Stubing.
and Murray Slaughter. And the 1990s Tarzan Joe Lara.
Joe Lara, I remember that name. Also, you didn't have in your list was B.J. Thomas, great, legendary country western singer and pop
What
singer.
was another one I found out? Someone I've seen the name before, but Arlene Galanka from the Andy Griffith Show and the spin-off from Mayberry at RFD.
I said a belated happy birthday to Seth Rollins, who did have a birthday this past week.
Oh yeah, he actually announced that on the show Friday
Yes.
night.
I looked it up, it was his birthday.
So did I.
I want to thank,
And
double
another
ACS.
birthday,
I want to thank
I
the
believe it was
director for
tomorrow,
directing us.
Brian's
And my birthday is coming up, guys, Sunday,
the 6th.
the 6th. Thank you.